Good evening, everybody. Once again, here with my brother for our weekly conversation.
Blessings.
If you're out and about driving around in San Antonio, take it easy. The roads are kind of slick, so slow it down. Keep off your phone and get there safely.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go ahead and start this off. I sent you this earlier because it kind of weighed on me since Saturday night. But if you're a minister, a pastor, a rabbi, or any kind of leader at a congregation, synagogue, place of worship, however you want to say it, and you're given the word, you always preach the word, teach it, but you can tell that there's hate in that person's heart that's delivering this message. How effective is that person being in saving souls? Are they really saving souls, or at that point do they, let's say they're teaching the money gospel, if you will, or if that's their main focus is they're not really overly concerned with saving souls or lives or whatever, but that almighty dollar, if you will.
Yeah. The I believe it's two of the prophets. They put it almost identically. They say they go over this bit about the children and their offerings, their holy days, even their Sabbaths being detestable to God, because they're not doing them for the love of God or from the heart, if you will, but they're doing them either as a way to collect. I think he even talks about the shepherds stealing from the people and eating the grain of the sheep. But we have to be careful to love the people that God brings to our lives, whether we're a minister, a rabbi, whatever it may be. But truly love them and to, care for them in the same way that Messiah cares for the disciples, in the same way that Hashem cares for Israel. We must care for the people of God, both those who know God intimately and those who are coming to know Him. And if we're not doing that, we need to kind of let go of whatever issues we may have had with somebody or somewhere in the past, and just love that person. God brought that person into your life for a season, a couple seasons, whatever. So that way, you could either help sharpen them up.
Just acknowledge that I've seen you.
And so that way they also could help sharpen you, right? Because it's a two-way thing. For example, each person that goes to service with us, whether it's wherever it's at, there are gems that they leave for us as we're doing the ministry. So as we're pouring out into them, as we're imparting upon them, there's a process there that's also allowing us to grow. It's a beautiful process, but you most certainly can't do it out of any other. You could, but to be in right standing with God, you have to do it from God's perspective, from the Messiah's perspective. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. The other part is you've talked before about planting positive seeds, and I've seen a few people, and I'm not going to give them any credence, but I'm going to give what they've said, the behavior they've displayed. Not even really credence, or acknowledge it, but going to ask these questions just because if they're listening, and I'm pretty sure that they are. or they'll see this at some point in time. So if this pertains to you, this is not a shot at you. This is so you can take hold of it, digest it, and move forward in a positive way. But if you've talked before about planting positive seeds to have positive returns, and those same pastors, rabbis, ministers have of late, we've seen some of them planting seeds of doubt, seeds of negativity in various ministries, not just one or the other, but in various ministries, to go so far as talk about sheep stealing or so on and so forth, and this person's this and this person's this and this person's this. Well, all those negative seeds that they're attempting to plant is it's not doing them any good, because it talks to the character of their heart.
Yeah. Years ago, one of the ministries that we used to work with quite often, they had moved from one area of town to another area of town. And the very same night that they moved out of that area of town, the light was gone in the area that they had moved from. True story. And it's kind of the same thing. If you plant negativity, you're diminishing the light, the capacity of light within your community, within your congregation, within your area, and within the hearts and the minds of those sheep that Hashem has brought to you. So, one of the things that I learned from my mentor was, always feed into people, always impart upon people. And so that's one thing I've always attempted to do fully, is just constantly impart. Whether I see returns right away or not, doesn't matter. Right? We do our bit because we know Hashem is always watching. That gets, you can break that down to a couple of things. I made a quick list of 4. So let me just, there's 4 things basically. Double visioned. You're looking everywhere else at everything else. Well, these people, they're going over here, those people are going over there. And we look everywhere else instead of just looking to Hashem, instead of looking to the King. If we keep our focus on the King, I shared a quote earlier, and this young lady, she said something to the effect of, pray for your enemies instead of talking about them, and this will go a lot further. And it's absolutely true. You pray for them. And whether they're your enemies, your brother, whatever, you pray for them. And that'll go a lot further than talking about them. The second one is imbalance. This represents doing things that are in the popular fashion instead of doing them in God's fashion. Instead of simply following His instruction and carrying that out in love, we want to do everything that's trendy and popular and,
Trying to be the cool kid all the time.
Yeah, be that shining example like Moses coming down from the mountain, and you will be the cool kid. You'll be the trendsetter. Worry about doing that. Don't worry about doing the rest of the stuff. Number 3, the improper walk. We're called to walk worthy of our calling. Whether you're called to be minister, to be whatever it is, walk to that. This is something that God has placed upon you. Many of you know we grew up on the south side. Just because we grew up over there does not mean I can mix south side in great abundance with being a rabbi. I have to, be a rabbi first, and it happens to be that I was seasoned on the south side. That has to supersede the other. So I have to walk in that, right?
Yep.
In Amos 3:3, it says you can't, if you and I don't agree, we can't walk together. So we have to agree to
Hold
love
on
one
one
another.
second. Okay. It's not showing up. I mean, we're recording, but let's see if we're showing up now.
Well, he does, because he'll as much as he hates, Mario, and he hates Arthur, he still does.
Okay, we're not showing up here, so let's.
With a bad heart, Jack, I
You pause it?